Hey YouTube, welcome back to part 3 of how to breed your African cichlids. Now as a recap, the first two videos talked about the equipment and requirements you'll need to breed the fish and how to get them to actually breed. So if you haven't seen those videos, I highly recommend seeing those before you watch this one. Now this video is going to focus on what to do with the female once she is holding. Now you know the female's holding when her jaw is puffed out and it's very hard to miss. Well, the reason it's puffed out is because she's holding all the eggs in her mouth. Now, there's two methods that you could go once you have the female holding. Actually, three. One is leaving her in the tank. The problem about that is right when she releases the babies, she'll spit them. Right when she releases the babies, all the other fish will attack them and eat them. So, that's not recommended unless you absolutely have no space. Now, the two methods that include the babies living are either using an egg tumbler or allowing the female to release naturally in a separate tank. Now, I don't suggest using egg tumblers for beginners, so I'm going to talk about allowing her to release naturally in a separate tank for this video. Now, once you understand that the female is holding, you're obviously going to want to move her to a separate tank. I suggest moving her to about a 10-gallon tank. Any smaller is too cramped, any bigger is really unnecessary. Now, once you move the female, you want to do it in the least stressful way possible, because if you scare her, she might spit out the babies or possibly eat them. The more mature a female is, the more chance she has of actually holding them and them surviving. Now, when the female's in the tank, like I said before, you want to reduce the stress as much as possible. So some things that you can do is turning off the lights. Now you're going to want to turn on the lights occasionally, once or twice a day, just to make sure you don't miss any babies if she released already. They're kind of hard to see in the dark. Now, another thing you could do to reduce stress is, since the female's holding the babies, she doesn't get as much food. But I still recommend feeding her about once a day in very small portions and with crushed flakes. The reason is some females are actually able to eat the food when holding. And in my opinion, my theory is, even if they don't eat the food when holding, if they are able to see the food around them, they're more comfortable because they know at any time they can release the babies and eat it. Therefore, they'll hold the babies longer. Now, you'll know when she releases because you'll obviously see all the babies outside of her. Now, this normally happens 2 to 3 weeks after she starts holding, but it really is a variable. For example, this female, she holds for about 4 weeks. Now, once she releases the babies, there's two things that you could do. You could either leave the female in the tank or move her back to a separate tank, not the breeding tank. Now, the reason I don't suggest moving her to a breeding tank is because right after she releases, she's held the babies for as long as possible to the point where she's almost starving. Now, if you put her back in the breeding tank, the male will immediately try to start breeding with her, and she'll either start holding again or get very badly beaten up. Now, if she starts holding again, she'll be very weak, and she won't be able to eat for 3 weeks right after not being able to eat for 3 weeks. This can be very tough on her and even can cause death. So what I suggest is moving her to a separate tank. If you move her to a separate tank completely away from the fry and the other breeders, you could give her a few weeks to recover to put her back into the breeding tank. Now, it's perfectly fine to leave the female in the tank with all the fry. If you think about it, she was holding the fry in her mouth for about 3 weeks, and if she wanted to, she could have eaten them already. The only problem about this is if you do happen to miss a feeding, she can go around and eat them because she is very hungry. Now, in regards of what to feed these fry are about a week old, and what I feed them is crushed flake. I don't think it's necessary to go out and get all the special brands for just fry. Their diet is mainly very similar. If not, it's such a small change that it's not very impactful. And I suggest just feeding them crushed flake and make it a powder. Now, When I put it on top of the tank, sometimes there's not enough water movement to put the powder under, and the fry are too scared to go up to the top to get it. So what I do is I put it on top and then I just blow down on it, and it'll push a lot of it down to the fry. This will allow the fry to eat it and they'll be happy. The female actually can survive off of the crushed flake as well, and just feed a little extra for her. I suggest doing water changes about twice a week when these guys are just born. I really don't think it's necessary to do much more than that. And other than that, you have successfully bred your fish. So stay tuned. My next video, part 4, will talk about what to do with the fry when they're growing. Now, here's a little sneak peek at the tank that you guys will see for that video. These are all yellow labs, actually from this female. So make sure to stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment, let me know if I missed anything or if you have any other questions. Thanks for watching.